All right, man. So here's the gun. Here's what you probably saw the presentation video already, but here is the breakdown so you can disassemble it and clean it after you go to the range and to maintain it. There's some things that you don't need to take off. You can disassemble it completely if you like, aside from the brazed on mounts. Those are not going to come off. They're silver soldered on, and I've tested it through over 150 rounds, probably closer to 200, and haven't had any issues. I did them nicely the very first time and learned quite a bit by brazing my own. So those are not going to come off, I don't think. And if they do, for some reason, if you drop it and those brazes break off, they can be silver soldered back on. You can send it back to me and I will take care of that. Or you can have it done wherever you are. In that case, you would only have to send the lower and it wouldn't have to be an FFL and all that stuff. But anyway, these nuts are Loctited down with blue Loctite. So if you have to get them off, you're going to need to use pliers for the leverage to get them off. There's no way you're going to do it with your fingers. Same with this one. This is screwed down very tight and Loctited in. The dovetail didn't have a dimple for that screw, so I milled the dimple in there so the screw has something to bite into and it's not going to shift around. These top screws are Loctited in as well. This scope did have a focus ring on it originally, and the focus ring is right here. So it still has the screw in it for the focus ring. I focused it to neutral. If you want to look through it, it should be neutral and you should be able to see through it just fine. So I focused it to neutral, and the screw is under here. I milled a slot underneath these rings for the screw to sit. So it may move a very small amount, but you shouldn't notice a big difference. Also, there is a piece of VHB tape under here, because what I found is no matter how tight I got these rings, sometimes recoil will push that scope back and forth, and it would push it maybe just a little bit. About a millimeter is about all it would move because of that scope, but I didn't want it to move at all. So these are Loctited down as tight as I could get them, and also there's that piece of VHB tape to keep it from slipping. Some of the things I did as well, I milled this, you see the first pictures I showed you, the scope had that extra bar up here that had the retention screw in it. I made a fixture for the lathe and lathed it down to match all of the other correct scopes that I have. And so that's the correct width. And then I put it on the rotary table in the same fixture and milled that correctly to the exact right spot. So now it looks exactly like it should. I've got your scratches here. Actually, these scratches on the bottom, these came with the scope. So I don't know how old they are. It was a lot of the smaller scratches or bigger scratches here. Those actually came on the scope. And then I tried to do the Han Solo scratches that you see in the reference photos. Steel is very hard to scratch for some reason. It's funny. It's very strong. There's no doubt that these scopes are 100 years old and just like the gun, and still in good shape. We have the aluminum flash hider. No way a steel one will probably work. If you want to get a steel one for display purposes, just get it, blue it, and weather it. First thing you need to do when taking it down is obviously check to make sure it is not loaded. The best way to do this, you can do this by pulling the bolt back by itself, but it's very hard even with the cut springs. So just lock the hammer back. Oh, one thing I want to show you, the safety works on a pre-war commercial. You can put it in safe while the hammer's back without moving the hammer. The wartime commercials, you had to pull the hammer back all the way and push that up at the same time to make it activate the safety. But this one, you don't have to do that. You can literally just pop it into safe and off safe with the hammer back. It's no problem. When the safe is on, watch this, it raises the hammer from the firing pin. So that's supposed to be like that. Anyway, to break it down first, you want to make sure you check to see if it's loaded, right? Let the hammer be, let the bolt go forward first before you start to disassemble, because the first thing you need to do is push down this little button here and slide the plate forward. That will release the follower and spring. That lets the bolt come out. So the next thing you have to do is lock the hammer back. Then we need to take off the flash hider and booster. It is threaded on, so it's lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. It's going to be a little snug. There is an O-ring underneath it, and what the O-ring does is it keeps it, you can tension it down without over-tightening. Here's the O-ring. And it allows some tension to keep the recoil from loosening. It'll keep it from loosening the flash hider, and it'll stay put, right? So inside there's the booster. You don't ever have to take the flash hider off the booster, just leave it on. And in the front, you'll see this is what the bull barrel looks like. It is a sleeve. See if I can focus on there. There we go. It is a sleeve. So, but I have fixed it permanently. There is some JB weld, clear weld inside the barrel, so it should not move. It shouldn't move anyway, because I have milled recesses to make sure that it can't really move backwards any more than that. But you don't have to worry about taking this off. You don't even have to worry about these little set screws. They shouldn't move it either, but you can always just put a little Allen wrench in them to just make sure that they're snug. Don't crank down on them and try and change the position of them. They should be fine. So after you've taken off the booster and flash hider, what you want to do is, while the hammer's back, this little lever back here, push it up with a screwdriver to get it started. Continue to push it up with your thumb, and then grab and then push gently back. The entire upper and the lock frame will come out. That is all you need to do to disassemble the bottom. Now the bottom, there's not much you really have to do. What I would do is spray some Barricade in, or your whatever you use to clean your guns. Barricade WD-40, just to loosen up the dirt and the grit and things like that, all the unburnt powder and stuff like that. Spray it in there, get your little brush and brush it out inside and out. This part doesn't really get too dirty, but you can still brush it out a bit and then re-oil it, spray some Barricade in there, or grease it if you like. There's no moving parts in this part except for the spring. This spring keeps the trigger in, and also is the spring for the mag plate release. You shouldn't ever really have to take those out for any reason. I did a complete disassemble already and cleaned all those things completely out. That it had 100-year-old grease in there, and I cleaned it out and re-greased it with new stuff. So you shouldn't have to do that. And I'm going to clean this after I'm done making the video again. You can leave all that on. That is not going to hurt anything. Just set that aside. The next thing is, this will come just like this. What you want to do is just grab it, gently pull down, and it'll pop right out. The locking block will come off with the locking frame. Your screwdriver in the slot for the firing pin. Push in and turn clockwise, and then it will unlock. It only goes one way. Take out your firing pin spring. This is a new spring. Lay that aside. Now you have your bolt stop. Now this is the one thing you want to check once in a while to make sure that everything is good to go. You can even order a brand new bolt stop, newly made. Put your middle finger over the back so the recoil spring doesn't shoot out, and then gently pull your bolt stop out. Pull your bolt out, put your upper down, You can take the spring out here and check it. It's very clean still. The only thing you really need to do is spray a little bit of Barricade or something on here and then brush off the extractor area and the firing pin, the part where the firing pin comes out. Just make sure it's nice and clean. Do not ever take out the extractor for any reason. They break so very easily, and you don't want to have to replace it if you don't need to. They usually just work. They've been working for 100 years. Just don't take it out. Just leave it there, unless you're really brave and just really want to replace one for some reason. So there's your bolt, your recoil spring, your firing pin, and your upper. Now the thing you want to check on the bolt stop is to see if it's been peening and or showing any new signs of wear or damage. You want to check it for cracks. This one is in fantastic shape, and it is the one piece that is not matching to the rest of the gun. So I imagine, wait, is it? No, it's not. Yeah, it's the one piece that I found that is not matching the gun. So it's been replaced at some point, but it is an original and it's in great shape. Even still got the really pretty fire blue on it. So just inspect it to make sure nothing's going on there. Inspect the locking block, make sure it's in good shape too, which it is. Inspect the locking lug to make sure it's not cracking or shearing or anything like that, which it's not. Everything looks to be in really good shape. When you service this, just use a wad, clean out the barrel just like you would any other gun. I did recrown it after I cut it, so it's got a brand new crown on it. It's good to go. When you reassemble, put a small bead of grease along the inside of that rail on both sides so that this can ride smoothly and not have too much friction. You can put a little bit of grease on the ways for the bolt right here and right here, and that will help a little bit. Maybe a little bit of gun oil on the top and the sides right here. Not much to it really. Just make sure it's nice and clean, and this one's still clean even after putting those rounds through it. I'm just going to clean the barrel and the chamber a little bit. I can see a little bit of unburnt powder in the barrel. What I'm doing is when you have your ammo on a stripper clip, if you have a stripper clip, or if you're loading them by hand, oil all the ammo. Just oil each shell a little bit. Just get a little bit of oil and rub it all over the brass casings. So when they go in and they get ejected, they don't drag on the chamber, so they can eject smoothly. That really helps quite a bit. Now, taking apart the locking frame is you shouldn't really need to do that too often, if at all, for a long time. But how you're going to do it, there's some good videos online. But the one thing, if you don't really want to get into it, there's only one piece that you can really screw up, and that's this little coupler. And that thing, if you put it in wrong, if you put it in backwards, which you can put in backwards, you can render this gun unserviceable, unfireable, and unfixable. So you have to be very sure of what you're doing with that, because it can totally ruin everything. So this is the easiest part to get out. This little latch, it's just turn and slide out, right? Push up on the sear arm, release the hammer. Then you can wiggle out that. Then you can, each one of these things has a little lug on it that fits inside. So you have to turn this completely up to get that off. Then you want to, this is probably the trickiest part, the plunger for the hammer spring. Push that in and that coupler will fall out. It's a C-shaped coupler. And then you can pull out the hammer spring. There's also a plunger down in there. Where are you, Mr. Plunger? There you go. So the way that works is plunger, spring, and plunger, right? Then you have your hammer just kind of hanging out loose. Push this pin here, and then you have this spring come out. Then your hammer, to get the safety, it has to be halfway, and then it will wiggle out. And then you just pull your hammer out, and then you have your completely disassembled everything, right? Now, to put it back together, hammer. Hammer. Okay. Pin. Safety. Remember, halfway. There. Lock it in the non-safe, the fire position. Now you're going to do your plunger, spring, plunger. Fit that in. This tooth goes up. It's going to push your hammer down. Here's the trickiest bit. This coupler must go forward like that. The C, for lack of a better term, let me see if I can get this focused. The C must face forward and down. So you rest that right there. Then push. As you're pushing, keep a thumb on top of that or it will fly out and disappear. You just push it in until it seats all the way down like that, right? Now, reattach your sear. Well, let's see. Let's do this first. Push up and in. Lock it back. Latch. Okay, now we're going to reassemble the top. Bolt. Spring. Bolt. Oops. Bolt stop. This is the trickiest part. You usually need to have another tool, an Allen wrench or something. I'm going to try and do it with the firing pin spring so I don't have to go get another tool. Yeah, there it goes. Okay. Did that work? Sort of. That sort of did it. It's better to have like something thick. Actually, that worked perfectly. So once you get that in there, firing pin, it only goes one way. There's keyhole a very certain way. Screwdriver, push in, turn counterclockwise until that is facing up, and you're good, right? Check it. Okay. Locking block. It sits on this recess here, right? And the tooth is down. Let's see if I can show you that a little bit better. Like that. This will sit just like that. Okay. And then you push until it snaps. Okay. Then turn your gun upside down. Feed that in. Okay. Push forward. Lock the tab down. Check your action. It has to cam back before the bolt will be released. All right. Just check the action. Release the hammer. Check the safety. Make sure all that's working. Okay. Safety works. Trigger works. Then you put your follower back in. Front tab. Start it just barely. Lock it in. Okay. Now we put and start threading it. It'll go on. And then once it starts to get tight, you'll notice it'll get tight, and then you'll turn this until that's perfectly in the middle and your hole's in the middle, and then you just drop your sight griddly back on and you're good to go, man. There it is, ready to fire. Okay, strip a clip, push your ammo down, pull your clip out, it loads the first round, and you're ready to fire. Okay, so that's complete disassembly, reassembly, and kind of a walkthrough of what you're looking at. I will get this cleaned up and ready to go.